Okay, we're running, so, okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We'll call the meeting to order and look for approval of the agenda unless there's some additions.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a first and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Agenda is approved. We approve the minutes from May 27th.
I'll make that motion.
I have a couple of changes,
Uh-oh.
so we're all just a couple of add-ons. On the Board of Trustees, that we need to put drainage trustees on there. Said, it went into as the Board of Trustees, acting as should be drainage trustees. In and out of that meeting. And then down on mine, on the 20th, I had my UDMO finance meeting that I zoomed. Other than that, I'll
Need to eliminate that, put a flag at the courthouse for Memorial Day, 'cause I did not help do that.
other than that, I'll second.
Okay. All in favor with those corrections? Any opposed? Minutes are approved. General public concerns. Yep. But please state your name for the.
So my name is Emily Lane. I'm Melissa Reapers. And I guess it's not necessarily a concern, but we're coming to all of you to ask for some assistance. And we would like to propose some help with a space for our elementary kids. We have a group that we would like to see them explore their engineering and kind of their STEM. So it's science, technology, engineering, and math abilities. And so we want to continue this throughout the summer into the school year. We're just looking for space. So we're thinking about 25 to 30 kids. If it grows and it becomes as popular as we think it will grow, we would like to see it become integrated into the school with like the Lego robotics program, which would then feed into the high school robotics program. So essentially, we're building little engineers now to then keep going later on. Ideas and things that they could be doing would be like engineering builds, so bridges, towers, robotics and coding, math games, science exploration. So a little background about me. I was a science teacher at the high school, so I have science background with all sciences. And then Alyssa has a medical background. So between the two of us, we're very invested in the STEM. And there's just not really a huge ability right now for our elementary age kids to kind of get involved with that kind of stuff. And so we're hoping that if we can have a space now that we can kind of bridge it further and kind of start that trend where the creative thinking, the interaction with people not on a device, those kinds of things that are lost for a lot of youth right now. We're hoping to kind of engage that through Legos, actually.
So we've reached out to quite a few different facilities in Humboldt, and we've not gotten anywhere that, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but no space has been available to us. We don't really want to be associated with the church, just because we don't want to hinder anybody's ability to join. And so we were hoping for an open space that could potentially be used. So seeing you guys, if you have any space accommodations that you could make.
How come don't the school help you out?
Well,
I mean, it's just,
Especially during the summer.
yeah, their school building's empty for summer.
They're cleaning though. And so everything essentially gets moved from one classroom to the hallways, to then the next room, to the next room. So there's significant parts of every building shut off because they're waxing the floors, they're consistently moving things around. And so we don't really want to bring 30 kids into the school to then mess up all of their work that they're doing, especially because we want to continue it throughout the year, not just in the summer or not just in the school year.
How much space are you gonna need, like tables, chairs?
Tables, chairs, but yeah, enough for, we're thinking, right now it's a team of 2.
Yeah,
So,
with our two kids that we know want to join.
so, I mean, we're thinking 30, but then just space that they can easily move, cause they're gonna wanna go from different. We're gonna have basically stations, so if they wanna do a tower over here, great, if they wanna do coding, great. But we have the ability to do all of that. I have reached out to the school, cause I used to do the Lego robotics, years ago, so I know that they have some of the equipment and things already. Of, can we use that? Is it still even there? I don't know if it's even there anymore at the school. So, but we're starting from the ground up essentially and seeing.
So how are you gonna advertise to get more kids and things like that, so that you can get?
Our biggest thing is gonna be social media, initially. I think between all the parents that we know and the things that we've talked about, there is a moms group that has started for caregivers. With Nolan Bitsum and Megan Hopp and Carrie Spellmeyer, that I know they throw out the word, that's gonna be an easy advertisement as well. So I think a lot of it is just gonna be word of mouth initially, and then from there, we'll keep seeing what that might look like expanding.
What day are you thinking, or days?
In days and hours, I guess. would be-
We're thinking 1 hour a week.
Okay.
We're open to the days, cause it's gonna be dependent on what's available. So we don't want to come in and kick anybody out. We'd like to just be a add-in of whatever's available. So we're gonna be able to be flexible. We don't have anything necessarily other than we'd like about an hour.
Roughly what time of the day?
Evenings. Make it available during, so parents can get there. But it's like I said,
So evenings, you're talking like 5, 6?
5, 6, 7, 4.
In the summer, it's a little more, probably later in the evenings.
Yeah.
During the school year, we could do right after school so that kids can come there right after school and just.
Oh, so it's
be there
not
right
just
after.
a summer thing, it's probably gonna be a year round.
Yeah.
We'd love it to be year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start with summer and then it works.
The items there?
No, we would take the items with us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to worry about storage, just because that becomes a whole other
Right.
issue.
Park, shelter house.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna bring up.
That's the first thing I thought of too.
Yes.
I've got an office too.
So will that bother you for being at like 5 o'clock, you're easily gone?
I'd give them a key that would just access the food pantry side.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
wouldn't have restroom facilities, though, would be the only downside. So,
And we got the shelter out at Sheldon Park, the new one we built. And we do have bathrooms out there. I could talk to Todd.
That's a good space too.
But what about wintertime? Would that be a very,
Wintertime, we don't have it open time.
yeah, that's so, if they're talking, that's the only thing I'm saying. It'd be a great, I think in the summertime that would be great, but in the wintertime.
And in the wintertime,
Yeah.
we can be, if we have it established by wintertime, then we could always look at
A different
asking the
location.
school and seeing like, can we just have some space at the school?
Oh, cause then they're open.
Right, and then it would be easy for our kids.
So
to
maybe
go
the
there.
park would be kind of.
What's your startup time? You thinking July? Or are you gonna try to do it before?
Say July at the latest, like the first week of July at the latest. We're gonna need to make sure that we can get forms out and then gather up all of our equipment and.
Well, I'm just
Equipment
picturing
items.
this, but Matt. With the radio station, I'm guessing he's a Lego type kid that would love to sit right in the middle and I know Ben will.
Yeah, all engineers with Lego kids.
I think it's a win-win. If we can make it work to get to the school year to get them to. So we don't have kids going from here to wherever we're having the location.
Mhm.
I know
I'd like to
Todd,
see
I
it.
know Todd can just give you a key for it. Let me check with him, cause I know there are weddings and stuff out there, but booked up on the weekends pretty much. So let me check with him and then I'll get back a hold of you. What's your phone number that I can reach you at?
You can give it to them privately, cause you probably
Yeah.
don't want that out on. I'm sorry.
You know, here, it's right down in there, would you please? Yeah, anywhere's fine.
Good call.
You look dandy.
The HR and mother,
Sure
I'm
am.
sorry, just came right out.
That's why we're on this.
I probably could have got her.
Call him and find out, let you know.
I probably could have helped him. All right,
Thank you all for your time. and
Yeah,
We
thank you.
appreciate
I'll
your,
be in
Very
touch.
interesting.
your openness for it, so.
Thank you so much.
Is there any other public concerns?
Jeremy Johnson, RWE, just letting you guys know, I think you guys all got, phone calls from my colleague Kevin about our, partnership with the library tomorrow morning. Just wanted to touch base with you guys again, letting you know, guys know that we'll be there from 9 to 12 noon. So y'all are free to come by and chat with us. But yeah, we'll be working with the kids doing some hands-on experiments during the summer reading program tomorrow morning. So just wanted to come back and touch base with y'all one more time. I told y'all I was gonna come back and give you those fun details. So
how good are you with Legos?
terrible because I have Legos all over my house. So I don't.
Well, there you go.
So I would definitely love to be a part of.
You're in.
Yes, sir.
First volunteer.
Aren't you guys building tomorrow? Aren't you building something there at
Yeah,
the?
we're gonna do some like mini windmill.
That's what I was thinking.
that's
Yeah,
We could all be there tomorrow.
yeah. I was gonna call him back, but I think I had something. No, you're good, because I know I had, I gotta go to Pocahontas tomorrow. The
All
board.
right,
All right, anybody else?
You do something.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, it looks like next thing up is drainage.
I'll make a motion to go into drainage.
Second.
The first, second, all in favor,
Aye.
Any opposed, we're gonna go into drainage at,
Second.
I did.
at 8:42.
I don't know, one of you guys did. All I heard is one of you guys down there.
You feel fun.
Okay, Colin.
There it was.
Yeah.
She was standing there.
She wa- oh.
He's not here.
I've got a couple handouts here, maps. I always, I don't know about you, but I like to
Visual.
be able to see what we're talking about. And I don't know that I necessarily have. Can't remember how many copies I made.
I'll share. I can share it through. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Mark,
Is it the same thing?
nice to meet you.
No, nice to meet you. Stars.
Here, you.
That was different than now.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one that's like a zoomed out. Topography map, one's more zoomed in. And then there's just an aerial map. So, and I guess. Mark, if, not to put you on the spot or anything, but if you wanna just kind of give a rundown of some of your concerns. And we can kind of go from there, 'cause
Really.
I believe it was you talking with Mike or bringing it up, basically some of your concerns. And then it's kind of gone from there, so maybe you wanna start, I don't wanna put words in your mouth.
Yeah, that's fine. What's labeled 4 bay, right by the road,
Yep.
it's a silt pond. Supposed to catch debris and mud from flowing down into the pond behind it. And the problem we're having is, it's just, right now it's a rock nest. So all the trash from the field to the west and south is coming down, flowing through the tube. And then it floats on the top of the water in the 4 bay and then goes over the rock and it creates a mess in the pond in the back. So the 4 bay was supposed to be designed to handle the silt and trash. And it's not, it's getting past. So I'm trying to get something done, so it's not muddying up and dirty in the pond in the back.
Okay. Yeah, so, and I apologize to everybody too, because I wasn't around when this project was happening, so some of the discussions and conversations and things, I wasn't there for. So I'm at a little bit of disadvantage there, but when this came up, I tried to go back through all of our files basically and look at get a background of this project and, obviously more specifically, the discussions and everything regarding the pond and the forebay. And Mark, and you can correct me here, I don't know what was said, but when I look at a forebay and a pond like this and the location that it is, a forebay really isn't intended to catch just everything. It's kind of like, you're wanting, it's hard to clean this bigger pond out. And that pond's meant to catch stuff too, but you obviously want to catch as much as you possibly can in the forebay. And a forebay typically is located someplace that it's easier to access with equipment. Easier to clean out more often, and then it just helps extend the life of the larger pond that's downstream. One thing when I was looking at it is this rock burn, so that forebay, it's a 10 foot deep, like I think I've got years on that. It's like 60 foot wide and 130 feet long. It's not huge, but if you drive by there, I mean, you obviously see this little body of water by the road. And on the north side of that, on the outlet side, what Mark's talking about is there was basically a rock berm put there. And in engineering, it's called erosion stone, but it's limestone riprap. It's just it's 6-inch diameter is the typical size of that stuff. And I don't know, Mark, what the thought was when I went out there with Mike and I look at that and I think, well, I don't understand what's going on. Why would you do that? But thinking and looking at it more, because if you just put a pile of rocks, that doesn't hold water. I mean, it's 10 foot deep and this is 3 to 4 feet on top. So there could be like still 6 foot that would sit just as a pond of water. But really, if you drive by, ideally, you'd see this 3 to 4 foot pile of rocks sticking out because it would drain down to that level, drain through the rocks. It's not doing that. And this stuff was built nearly 10 years ago. And if it was able to catch debris and things like that, well, you can imagine that it wouldn't take too long, especially with the kind of corn stalks and debris that come down through here. Like if you look at this aerial photo and you can see it, just there's these kind of gullies and if you get a heavy rain, it really washes down into there and carries whatever it can pick up, and comes through the road and onto Mark's property. So there's a lot of debris and I've seen pictures and stuff where a lot of that pond has debris floating on top of it. So when it happens, there's a lot that comes through there. A little forebay was never going to be able to catch all of that, period, but it makes matters worse when it's likely backside of it is just plugged up. If there was stuff that settled out and it caught it initially, it just snagged it. And then in 10 years, there's been enough big events that it's probably completely plugged up. Now, kind of one question with that is, well, how do you unplug it? And that is, I don't know. I read about these, you can call them stone weepers. That's a strange name to me, but typically if for a forebay, you're doing this rock outlet, you'll put larger rock and then on the back side of it, you put smaller rock, like 1/2 inch or 1 inch clean. And in that way, when that stuff gets plugged up, you can dig it out easier. Now, that would be a mess of muck and rock. So that wouldn't be great either, but I guess that with the forebay and with other options you maybe look at to try to keep corn stalks out of that bigger pond, there's no silver bullet really to completely solve that. And I mean, I can understand where Mark's coming from, having all these corn stalks washing down into that pond and having them sitting there and not ideal, but I do think that pond in part was meant to catch some of that stuff before it went to the Des Moines River. It's just unfortunate it's right in your backyard. So let's see here. I guess that's one thing that I want. I mean, this forebay, it's not as though there could have been like, oh, it was designed wrong or something. A forebay is intended to try to catch something, but it's not to treat everything. The pond is actually the final treatment before water exits that and moves on. Another thing and a concern that I had, and again, this is me looking at it in hindsight, not having been there, reviewing the files and stuff. I saw that, so this was an ag drainage well closure project. So this new tile was put in, this new drainage district was created. And the big intent there was to close the ag drainage well, so they had to take that water that was going down into the aquifer and route it to go somewhere else. And this is where they brought it to, was basically onto Mark's property. And so the state of Iowa paid for 75% of that project. And so there was concerns about dumping that water onto Mark's property, and they had talked about possibly piping it all the way to the river. And essentially it ended up, there was different things looked at. I mean, there was at one time, there was a thought that there was gonna be some kind of a pond on the other side of Birch Avenue. And that didn't end up happening. I don't know the circumstances there. But this pond ended up getting built on the north side and east side of Birch Avenue as part of that project. And the state paid for 75% of that, the drainage district paid for the other 25%. Now, there was a lot of discussions, like I'm looking at meeting minutes, and even I even went back and watched a little bit of some of the videos. And it sounded like in the discussions that there was every intent of the drainage district to maintain the forebay and the pond as drainage district facilities. There was right of way acquired around them, presumably again for maintenance. The concern that I have in that whole element of this is at some point in time, and potentially it's now or sometime in the future, when if that pond needs to get dredged out, there's gonna be quite a significant cost to the drainage district. And how drainage districts work is like it's set up in state law that, all right, you can set up these assessment schedules and they're to be based on benefit. And so if you do all this is on the outlet of the district, and Mark's actual property is not in the district technically, so he didn't pay, which in a sense, especially for the tile, it wouldn't have made sense to have Mark pay anything for the tile. He doesn't benefit from that. But anyways, if we have like a $50,000 bill or something, I guess I've got concerns as far as asking the drainage district to pay for maintenance of that pond, when really an argument could be made that the pond and the forebay are not benefiting that drainage district at all drainage wise. So can you legally ask them to pay for pond maintenance.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes,
If the drainage district and isn't benefiting, their water's going through his acres or through his property,
right,
so it's being dispersed that way. Otherwise, it would be backed up on the farm ground, wouldn't it?
Mhm.
So it's definitely benefiting.
right,
Somebody.
Yeah,
That's what I
it's
suggested.
benefiting the drainage area.
I said, stop it on the other side of the road, then,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
either
well,
that or run the pipes all the way
Right.
to the river. And then when I was discussing that with Rick, he said, oh, that'd just be way too much money.
I'm sure
And
it will.
so they put these ponds in, and I said, and you can go back in the minutes and look at it, and I said, that big pond's gotta be a viable pond. And I told him came to one of these meetings, and I sat there and I said, that little silt pond is not gonna hold anything. He looked at me and he said, well, it's designed. And right now, if we get a 2.5, 3 inch rain, it's like a boiling pot of water. And everything boils out over the little rock spillway and goes right back into the viable pond that I agreed to let him put in, as long as it was good.
I think the issue we have though, the debris isn't coming through the pipe. It's
It
coming
is.
off the hillside,
Yeah, and it's coming down through the pipe.
underneath the road, but not the tile. When you say
not the
pipe,
drainage
not the
district. tile.
drainage district tile. The debris is not coming from the
It's
drainage
coming from
district.
surface water on the
It's
other
coming from the
side.
surface water, which it always has done.
Yeah,
So that's the problem. I mean, this really isn't a drainage district problem, the way I see it. That debris is coming off the field like it always has in the past. But now we stuck a pond in there and that's catching the.
But shouldn't somebody have thought of that way back when this was all going on, 10 years ago, that this was gonna happen?
Well, farming practices have changed in the last, there used to be a fence there because everybody grazed their cattle on their thick cornfield to pick up the corn. There used to be a fence there. They since then, they don't detail anymore to put the residue underneath the dirt. They don't, and then they plant beans and they immediately roll it, so any light breeze is gonna take that or water and give it a straight shot right down the creek.
Gotcha.
If we put like hog panels, they can around that basin on the west side of the road, it'll mitigate a lot of that. Simple as hog panels, or put 40 foot of fence in, woven wire fence, like it used to be, and I'll guarantee they'll stop,
yeah.
unless I'm wrong, you.
Well, there's stuff that you can try to do to catch corn stalks, and then the question is those corn stalks are gonna pile up somewhere,
And then you gotta burn
and
them,
then you got,
or haul them away.
yeah,
But
so,
the
I mean,
residue
the
doesn't
Secretary
become
of
the,
Roads deals with that all the time.
I
We
know,
don't
but
have
it
to
should,
look at burning.
No, cause they're, well, they're full of.
Yeah.
Wet.
yeah,
but don't we have an ordinance that says that your residue isn't our responsibility? I mean, there's gotta be some kind of ordinance that says the residue off of a farm field isn't ours, the water is. Cause you got the predominant ground and then the servient ground.
yeah,
Then you can't stop the flow of water from going downhill, you just can't stop it, but that's the water we're concerned with, it's come through the tile is clean water.
You're
There's no
right.
corn stalks in it.
right,
So
right.
the only way to mitigate it would be to stop it on the other side of the road, in my opinion.
It's, yeah, I guess my biggest concern with something like that is when you start catching the corn stalks and water's trying to flow through that same thing. The corn stalks are piling up and you start to back up water. And then pretty soon, even though you maybe that wasn't an intent to create a dam, but
You do.
you've made an obstruction. And that's backing up water, and that's something in the drainage laws that you can't do either. And that's a gray area because it didn't start out as that, but once the corn stalks start piling up and then it's backing on to the upstream lands, then potentially there's a problem there. That's a
It's the
concern.
upstream's land that's causing the problem.
That's,
So that, yeah, the cause of
Fair
the problem
point.
is going to be the cause of the concerns.
Yeah.
And you guys
fair
been out
point.
there to clean the grade off numerous times for the plugging up with corn stalks, and it is a county deal. You guys just cleaned it out last year, last fall.
Yeah.
Talking that open,
Well,
that box.
if they don't, it'll take
Yeah,
the
where it
road out.
drops through, it's got hang.
It's about half full
Yeah.
now,
Yeah,
and we haven't had enough rain to,
Wash it.
it's about a half full now. It was the other night when I drove by there on Tuesday night.
yeah. So,
Well, we can talk to the farm, maybe you talk to the farmer that farms it and ask if there would be a.
I mean, waterways would be a great idea, but I mean, I don't think he'll put them in, but.
I'm guaranteeing you. I mean, that,
Or a little batch of CRP.
Something,
Oh, no.
it would be an easy fix
Yeah,
with cooperation.
and if you look out in these fields, there's woven wire that used to be along the road all over top of the intakes to keep the corn stalks from covering up the intakes in the field, and they burn them up every year. That was my thought when I,
I think it's a good idea, Mike.
well, that's,
Saddle panels across there and.
cause I just measured it this morning, it's a 12x7, the 2.5 inch gaps between the rails in it.
Sure.
It's 12x7. I know it's a big.
Well, it's
grate.
huge.
12x7, yeah, it's huge.
That is big.
Takes a lot of water.
Yeah, so you would have a lot of area that the water could go through, that the corn stalks built up, and if you only use 3 foot hog panels, 3 foot and it's gonna come over it, and it's gonna continue to take water. The 4-bay is still working, I went down and looked at it the other day. It is, but not at the extent that it should be. Bruce has some pictures when they first put it in, and there's a little panel that a lot of water's coming through, that's not existent anymore. It's coming underneath and it's coming through some of the big riprap on the west side of it, but it's not doing what it should do. If we ripped out the center and put a new center in, would it work the way it used to for next 10 years? I don't know. You tell me, and with the volume of stocks it's getting now,
Yeah,
it's gonna fill up.
that's my concern about spending any amount of money trying to unplug it or that sort of thing so that water trickles through it instead of over top of it.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be right back the same.
Situation
Thing,
we are.
yeah.
in.
But if some of your pictures here, the pond wasn't even close to the road before. In some of these pictures, there's a big gap between the road and the 4-bay. Now the 4-bay water is cut against the road.
Right.
Is that because the water level's raised in the
Yes.
4-bay?
Yeah,
the
because
4-bay
it's,
puts-
It doesn't get through it?
yeah, so that's what I was talking about before,
that's
those.
4-bay, how full it was the other night.
That's your car.
Oh, sorry, that's my. It's my remote that doesn't work in my semi, sorry. I mean, it's almost backed up to the tile.
It's basically now
Oh, yeah.
the rocks, I mean, they're just acting as a dam because there's enough muck and stuff behind this plugged it.
Down.
Yeah.
Right.
It's,
There's a little bit that trickles through
Yeah.
in places, but not enough to keep up with the tile flow. That's
Maybe we need to put like a spillway full of Class E.
Well, yeah,
What's that?
It's essentially what you have.
But we had it set too high the way it sounds to me.
well, so. Ideally, the water level would be 3 to 4 feet lower than it is, because the water should be trickling through the rock.
That's, that's the way I looked at it years ago. I went out and looked at it and the pond wasn't anywhere near the road. Now it
Right.
is.
Right. So as far as that part of it where water's sitting on the road, something on that rock berm
Mhm.
could be done to lower that water level. I think that's probably the right thing to do. But the corn stalks thing is kind of a separate deal from that. But
Yes, it
if
is.
you keep the corn stalks from getting across the road and into that,
It would help.
Then,
Your problem will be solved.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but
Cause the rock dam, that rock chute or the rock berm is not doing much now,
Yeah.
much of anything
No.
to stop corn stalks. So if we lowered the water level, it's gonna be irrelevant to that. Especially, but if we stop the corn stalks on the other side of the road, that would help. Now, if this hog panel thing, I mean, who's doing this, or is it, I mean, it doesn't sound like a drainage district thing. I don't know, is it a secondary roads thing? Is it a drainage district thing? Is it?
It'd probably be a secondary roads thing, because like I said, I think we.
Not a secondary.
No.
Okay, my question is, if the water is up to the road could it be an issue to compromise our road then?
Possibly. I mean,
So-
it wouldn't be any different than any of our roads that, follow the river.
True,
Right.
true.
But and the hog panel thing, I mean, that's on the other side of the road. The issue with the water lapping up against the roadbed is from that forebay. Where the height of the rocks that are plugged up with gums.
I'm just
If you-
dating that corn stalks coming across a pipe that goes
Exactly,
underneath
yeah.
the roadway is not a secondary road issue, like. I've got corn stalks on 750 miles of county roadway right now,
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
The initial installation isn't even that big of a deal as far as, what you're talking about is a perpetual maintenance agreement that's
Right,
gonna last forever. And potential crop damage on Nave's property.
Yeah, that's-
Many corn stalks pile up on the backside of the fence and wipe out production ground.
So I think the intention long time ago was when they had that grass waterway around it, was to try to take some of the corn stalks out of that, and then it would be burnt off every year.
the grass waterway
On the
where.
west side.
On-
To me, it's west, some call it south, I don't know, I get some
That way.
left hand side.
So there was one, or they were planning on one, or there was one?
When it first started, okay,
Well, I guess I'm reading what you said earlier, Colin. You said 75% of it was paid by the state.
Yeah.
25% was paid by the drainage district, which to
To
me.
build the forebay, not the pond.
Well,
Both-
however, it
all of
was
it
the
together.
I
state
thought
paid
the
for it.
RCS built the pond.
They did.
No, they actually did.
Well, wasn't it built through them? I thought they designed it with you guys' help.
That, so I could be wrong about this, but I know that in 2009, that the NRCS looked at that same site and they had designed a pond. And they talked, I know that Rick was talking with them and they may have shared that design, but I think that Jacobson Westergaard did their own design. It was just ended up being very similar, like they used some of that stuff. So,
Well, if it was done with, wouldn't Mike Borland have been involved in this then?
yeah. The
Oh, yeah, he was-
Department of Ag.
It was involved.
So NRCS is a federal agency, but anyways, it's the state did pay for 75% of the construction of the pond and the forebay.
Like I said, I was very new when this come around,
Mhm.
and, I thought the NRCS put in the pond.
Didn't they
I
pay for part of it?
thought it all got paid by the drainage district, but I don't know.
No,
Well, it was through the drainage district but the state paid for 75% of that whole project, including this part of it.
Okay.
so I have a question. Could we take over there by where you're talking the riprap up before it goes down into your pond? Couldn't we put a standpipe in there that would drain that water through? When it got to a certain height, that it would hold that water out of that? I don't know, I drive truck. I didn't design the damn thing, but I remember going
I
up
haven't
there.
made too many ponds either.
Wouldn't that still take, I'm asking, wouldn't that still take the corn stalk that's on top and shoot them on through? I'm asking.
I don't have a clue.
Or imagine.
Some sort of grading that
The grade on the top of.
goes around, but again, it's maintenance.
Yeah.
Every time it floods.
Well, I got pictures that show the grate is almost half full and we haven't had enough rain before, a couple years back when we had that big rain. It took the top off of
It tore it off.
that thing was, about 2/3 of it was uncovered, cause didn't we call you and ask you guys to pull it in so somebody wasn't
fall into it.
out in the ditch and fall into it?
I feel like we're back to scratch against that thing, clean the top of it off a couple of times. It's usually every 3 years.
Yeah. And Gary said he does the same thing, and it gets Dad, they take their backhoe down there and try to clean it off so that it gets a stuff out of there.
I would imagine they lose some crops in that area, don't they?
If you get that much rain, you're bound to lose some, just real.
Well, it cuts, I mean, it cuts
Yeah,
across here, so yeah.
But see that grate, and then there's a tile.
Yep.
Which runs right next to it, so it has a dual feed that
Yeah.
goes
Yeah.
across underneath our roof.
Yeah, there's an open pipe that has no grate on it, right?
I just got one now.
Yeah, it has
does?
pipe, has a screen in it or some type of wire to slow stuff down. Kayakers or whatever.
I think fencing would be the easiest thing to do, at least try it.
Silt fence is gonna be your cheapest, easiest option.
Yeah,
And you're spend $100 on silt fence and maybe $200 on installation.
How high will the silt fence be? 2 foot?
Most of it's what, 3-4 feet, you bury a foot.
But you gotta bury a
Yeah,
foot.
2 foot of it.
Yeah.
I think we need to have a conversation with the landowner on the other side and see if there's conservation practices that would work better.
be nice if we could put a grassway in there, that would be also the big deal.
Get some grass established.
Yeah,
Mark, how much of your corn stalks make to the creek when you put corn in there? Does any, you got plenty of grass between it and the
I got
water,
grass
that's why I'm asking.
And I got rock
Okay,
across each draw.
okay.
the problem is, like you said, the farming has changed so much.
It had,
They're rolling the ground. The cone stacks are on top and you get a 2-inch rain, they're floating down to wherever.
Yeah.
Or even the wind, as far as that goes, the wind's horrible. And that blows in every direction.
I know one thing I saw from looking at the old records, cause there was talk about this very subject and grass waterways and things on the west side of the road. And the landowner, one comment to say they didn't wanna do that was that there's stuff coming, I don't know how much is all owned by one person here, but if there was stuff coming from beyond his land. So basically the argument is it's coming down here from them anyways, so that me putting grass waterways isn't gonna do any good. At least that was the comment made at that time. So I don't know if anything has changed there, but yeah, that, I think a conversation needs to be had with that landowner. This is a difficult thing because it's obviously a problem, but whose ultimate responsibility is it? And those corn stalks were coming through the road before the pond was there. It just makes it look that much uglier because now it's got a place to just hold it and have it sit on the surface of the pond. So there's a lot of things to think about here.
Well, I
Well-
guess we're gonna hear.
My
This afternoon
suggestion
about
would be, Bruce and I will go talk to the landowner and see if we can come up with maybe a viable solution. At least explore that first.
Yeah.
As I remember, he wasn't
Mike,
very,
it's your area. You know, Mike and I will go out there here. It's cause it's your area.
Yep.
well, he wasn't very happy about the pipe going that direction anyway. He
Yeah, I
wanted it
know.
to go the other direction towards. But I don't wanna go down that road, cause I've already heard it once this weekend.
So.
Would shot rock help if it was piled in the right of way before that inlet?
Would it just build up? I mean,
Yeah, that's
would it just build up over the corn stalks build up? Would it just start doing exactly what it's doing to the?
Basically, once it fills up with water, then it's just the stuff's gonna dump over anyways. So that's, unless you have something to catch it. I mean, you build something up and if it can just go fill that up and dump over the top, that's what it's gonna do with those big rains. I mean, there's so much water that comes.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a large hillside.
That's the same thing with that, like if you do one standpipe, I mean, in the pond, the bigger pond, you got three. Right?
Yeah, there's three there.
There's three quite large pipes. And so if you do one smaller one, well, when the big gushers come through, it's only gonna take so much.
It's gonna go
And
over the top.
then the rest is just gonna go over top, and that's the stuff that's gonna have debris in it.
Cause that floats on top.
So,
Yeah,
do the stalks settle out in the second pond? I mean, is that what the issue is? I'm gonna cleaning it.
you've been skimming them off the top,
Yeah.
they would eventually,
Yeah, if they lay there
I
all
didn't know if they
summer,
just keep settle
but-
out or if they-
Well, they will, I mean, it does in the beginning of it when it starts. But it's a mess up there, full of stalks and stubble and. Oh, if I knew
When
it
it
was
starts
gonna be like
smelling.
that, I wouldn't have agreed to it. Back when it got.
When they
put in.
start deteriorating, it starts stinking.
yeah, they do.
Yeah,
well, that's one thing that is troubling my mind is when we go back to that project. One thing that doesn't make sense to me is, okay, this was a problem beforehand, the corn stalks coming through there. And the pond isn't gonna. I mean, they're still coming there, the pond just gonna catch them. So if that was the true problem and there was concern about having corn stalks floating on this pond, then the pond wasn't gonna be a fix. I don't know what. I don't know what the conversation was there, but it doesn't quite make
my
sense to me.
conversation with Rick is to stop. The silt and debris from getting to the back part.
So that was your understanding.
That's
four
what my
bay.
understanding is that front part was gonna catch all that, that's why it's
Yeah,
in the drainage district to be cleaned out. And that's what the agreement was.
yeah. A 4 bay,
So whether it's
Isn't
not
gonna do
designed to
that.
do that, I don't know, but I remember sitting here going, Rick, I don't see how that's gonna work. But that's in the
Yeah.
past.
yeah, a 4 bay. A 4 bay was never gonna accomplish that.
And I wish I would have known that,
10 years ago.
right?
Very unfortunate situation.
Well, we aren't gonna settle it today, but we can,
Let's
Try
start
to-
with talking with the landowner.
Yep.
Mike, let's talk with him.
Make the beginning.
he said,
I mean, that'd be the way to do it, is to try to catch it. Catch it before it crosses the road.
Yeah. At
If
least
there's a-
catch some of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
anything else
Thank
for
you for
drainage?
coming down, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
I don't have anything in drainage.
I'll make a motion to leave drainage.
Okay,
Second it.
the first and second, all in favor?
Uh,
We're out of drainage at 9:17 or 18. Back in general session, we have.
Thank you.
Colin, thank you.
Thanks, Colin. Ben, you got some info for us.
It wasn't or wasn't.
Yeah,
Never supposed to be a recreation.
So it was just for the closing
Morning.
ad.
Good morning.
Was it yes? Pardon?
okay,
Got a set of plans for signatures. This is for the transportation safety grant that we got awarded last August for paving shoulders, adding a thick edge line stripe and putting in the rumble strips on the curves on Valverdeen, the two curves south of Rutland and Avery's Hill. So I bring for you guys today, to approve plans and specifications for that project and to set a letting date.
So will they mill that out like 18 inches or how far do they mill
3
that out? 3 feet?
Yep,
Wow.
they'll come in, they'll basically bring in a small mill like if it was blacktop service, they've got a mill that goes on the front of the skid loader. They'd mill out 6 inches deep, 3 feet wide. Pull all that rock and everything out of there, and then they come back in and they lay it in multiple lifts.
It'll be asphalt.
Yes, yep.
So we get the rock back, they take it and pile it somewhere, I mean, how do you do that? I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know if it's part of the bid, it's our rock or their rock or.
I'm sure they would have no problem with that. It'd be our trucks that set up in front of the mill to toss out, so
Okay. All right.
it doesn't amount to a heck of a lot of,
Probably not.
No,
Fitting.
it's not miles, it's just curves.
Right,
Right, that's not gonna be that great amount.
Yeah,
I got a gravel road, I know where you can dump it, but there's some landmines that. I don't
this
think you
happened to
would.
be inside
is
city
it city
limits.
limits?
That I've been
It might be,
asked
it might be,
about.
when you lose sight of the horizon, then you know you need rock, but nobody else owns that either, so. All right, well, everything's in order, I guess we'll sign away, and you need a motion to do
Yeah,
that?
we
I
do.
do need.
I'll make a motion to approve plans and specs for. Do I do the whole
You
FM?
could just say pavement widening.
Favor, 74-46.
I'll second that.
All right, we've had a motion. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The next question would be, when do you guys wanna have the letting? I would propose June 30th, if that is open on your calendar.
I think sooner the better.
I was just gonna say,
This
yeah.
would be nice. They're gonna
Are you
get it
planning
done
on
this year,
trying to
right?
do it yet this summer?
Yeah, we're looking at a late start date of October 2nd, so.
When's harvest start? It really won't matter, you'll get it done in short order anyway.
October 3rd?
That's when harvest. I think it's gonna actually start a little sooner than that.
Oh, get back, what time is? Sorry.
June 30th.
What's your plan?
Do we have to post that or?
I'll have to send it to the newspaper
Yeah.
for advertisement, that's what kind of why I said the 30th, cause
They got
I'll
it.
probably miss today's. And I'll get it in next week's.
So you just wanna do it like? 8:45 or
8:45, 9 o'clock, that works.
Yeah,
8:45 on the 30th?
okay, so we got a motion for 8:45 on the 30th of June for our bid letting.
I'll second that.
First and second, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You got your bid letting date.
We closed Virginia Avenue this morning. Between 245th and 250th Street, a mile east of Thor for bridge replacement project. Rognus Brothers is planning on moving equipment in today and tomorrow to start that removal project. Potentially, PCI is planning on moving in next week to start doing the one by the lagoons in Thor, so there'll be a lot of activity over in the Thor area here in the next few weeks. Both of them should only take 2 weeks to complete.
Yeah, this dry weather that we're having, unless we get monsoons.
Yep.
It should be fine.
Yep, so. And summer hours started today, so.
You going to 9 and 4 then?
We're doing 9 and 4. We're doing 4 9s and a half day on Friday, and the rest of the guys are on 4 10s.
Okay.
So.
Just a question. I know we've discussed this before, possibly extending them hours. Both directions, spring and fall. I don't know, just throwing it out there. I know the guys seem to get a lot more done.
They think they do. Sorry, did I say that out loud?
Well,
Some do. Some some of the guys really like the 410, some of the guys, especially the ones that have younger pups that need to be let out. Prefer the
Shorter days.
5/8s,
Yeah.
so.
That's true.
So what are you
I'm one of the
doing?
old dogs that don't have, them probably won't.
Right now, we've got, we basically run the first full week after Memorial Day. And we run until the last full week before Labor Day. So,
Okay.
where it gets complicating is how you handle holidays,
Health-based vacations.
so
Mhm.
things like that.
So do you think it's worthwhile? Is it, I mean,
It's debatable, and the reason I say that, like. Martin Marietta's scale doesn't open till 8 AM. 7:30 to 8 AM, so us coming in at 6:30,
give dead time then?
there's dead time. If we're hauling from stockpiles. You know, we can get out and we can get going and get moving, but if we're hauling from a quarry. There's an
Yeah,
hour,
that's about the only
there's
thing
an
that
hour
holds you
dead
up there.
time,
That's about the only glitch really is Marietta.
which is predominantly what we do all
Yeah.
April and May, is haul rock.
So what do
So,
you do in that hour then? And what are they doing in that hour that if they can't go get rock, what do they do? I'm just asking.
Maintenance
maintenance on equipment, do the walk around your machinery. Break down what the day is gonna entail.
I'm really surprised you don't open.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. All right.
Where you at percentage on your rock? You got most of it?
most of it's done, we should be, I'd say probably 98% done by the end of the week. So,
Asparagus season's closing, so your traffic
And you
on
still haven't.
gravel road can still be
Yes, yet either.
slowing down.
I did not make it asparagus or this year.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't either.
Since we come up with that wild parsnips around, I kind of quit going and get you.
Oh, come on, be it.
I'm a pansy. I'm so allergic to that crap.
Are you?
Oh. And it takes weeks to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Once you get it.
That's what they got long pants for and long shirts for.
I know. I don't think it helps you.
Oh, I'm gonna be the smarty pants today. I'm just full of it today.
Yeah.
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Just sticking around. Okay. Okay, next we got to set the place on file, the Marion Landing plan for short for, I got update for Blue Stem Farms. You heard anything?
I'll make a motion to accept and place on file the MMP for short. Blue Storm Farms, Blue Storm Farms, Blue Stem Farms, not geez, we can't even read today.
And we have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, committee reports.
Last week I ran out by, I was gonna go up there yesterday and I didn't get out the west of town to see if Doug has got that
Box.
box in there yet, but he hadn't the other day. On Tuesday, we drove up to Emmitsburg for the Udmo, annual meeting up there. They do it up at the Shores, Country Club. And I think everybody was there, but they represent anyway, so I didn't get to come up here. I guess the flags were on Wednesday anyway. But everything was good. 29th, we did Zoom for CFR. They've been hoping that they were going to be chosen for one of the big grants or money allocations through the state for a building project that they wanna do down in Des Moines. They got part of it, they didn't get as much as they were hoping, so. Right now we're kind of on hold to see how and what we can do to, that's a huge project down in the Des Moines area for drug and alcohol maintenance, I guess. That's all I had, I think, for the week.
The only thing I had was on May 28th, Wednesday, I went down to Webster City. We had our decategorization meeting. Basically, their funds are stagnant. They're not gonna be gaining any more. They probably figure they're gonna be losing funding within 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 if they're lucky. The big thing that we discussed, which is too bad, they transferred $127,000. $100,000 to Woodbury and 25 to Boone County. For youth, basically, prevention and things like that, which. It's too bad that wasn't mentioned at our earlier meetings because we could have used that money in Humboldt County. We could have got it moved over and had a program set up. So I guess it's just, what I want to state is just the importance of talking about what options all of us have in all of our meetings. Because had I known about this money, I could have recommended to the person who was on the board before that Humboldt County sure could come up with a program and we could have had that money. So it's just really important for us to talk about what funding things and what there is available so that we're all aware, because what one person can do, maybe they don't know about. That's all I got.
I had the housing and development meeting on Tuesday after the board meeting. Everything's going pretty good there. The only thing is Alyssa's having trouble with trying to get everything done. There's a lot on our plate.
Yeah.
We got a few projects we're working on, trying to get one place kind of cleaned up and built up. We had a bid on that. It was a little too high, so we're trying to figure something else out, but yeah, everything's going good. That's all I had for the week.
Wednesday I went to Region 5 Hazmat. The guys got their ducks together. They offer training. They go around and work with local fire departments and first responders and go through like the anhydrous tanks, how to open it, how the valves work, train cars, how the
A lot
valves.
of training.
It's amazing what them guys do. They actually went out with a semi tractor trailer tipped over in Pocahontas County and rolled by Clover and it's leaking 32% nitrogen. Went out and the local fire department already built a dam to prevent the product from leaking into a tile intake. Offload the product into totes and into a different semi trailer. They're pretty efficient. It's fun working with them guys. LAPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee, we just had a short meeting, nothing really to talk about. And then I had
Sorry,
pardon me?
what day was that?
I was on the 28th. On the 29th, I had a tile repair Acoustic Section 5, Drainage District Extension 11, BR 12, Paul Hunter Markson. Or by Addison, just north of took pictures and sent Terry the information, so that was all I had.
I had no meetings this week. I was out in central Illinois and drove on some county blacktops. Looked at gravel roads, looked at a lot of residential streets in central Illinois, and I think ours are way better than what they have out there. My God, how bad some of them are. It's incredible. I don't know what they do with their money, but they don't put it into the roads.
I just got a text reminder that mobile food pantry will be next Thursday, the 12th. From 4:30 till whenever they run out of food. At the fairgrounds.
You did say the 12th, didn't you, Bruce?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, is there anything else we need to discuss? We have a short work session with planning and zoning after the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, second.